Well, it's a public education success story for inner city kids. The Eagle Academy for Young Men is a system of 6 schools open to grades 6 through 12. The group, 100 black men, created the program back in 2004.
The schools are strategically placed in high-crime areas in all of 5 boroughs of New York City and in Newark, New Jersey. Vladimir Duthiers is at the Eagle Academy in the Bronx to show us how it could be saving lives. Vlad, good morning.
Good morning. Here at this Bronx school, every day begins with breakfast and a town hall meeting, which you can see happening behind me here. This is an opportunity for the students to hear school announcements and to get together with any administrators to go over some of the issues they may be having. And that's just one of the ways that sets Eagle Academy apart from other New York City public schools.
The Eagle Academy for Young Men was created to make a difference in our Black and Latino communities, especially for young men like me.
Japaris Sheridan is a 17-year-old senior at the Eagle Academy for Young Men in the Bronx. At this senior convocation, he was chosen to speak not as class president, not as valedictorian, but as a young man who's conquered many of the struggles facing the boys in his school.
I was heading down the same vicious cycle that so many of today's urban youth get caught up in, a path that only has 2 potential outcomes, either prison or death.
Before I came to Eagle Academy, it was constant fights, getting arrested.
Arrested?
Yes.
How many times were you arrested?
Maybe 4 to 5 times.
Japaris, the oldest of 6, lives in a violent and crime-ridden neighborhood in the North Bronx. Like 67% of black children in America, Japaris has grown up in a single-parent home. Adding to his problems is the fact that both his parents were incarcerated on drug charges when he was 9.
He took it the hardest because he was the oldest. I had many nights that I cried, like blaming myself.
His mother, Mercedes Smith, admits it hasn't been easy for him.
We're not that far from the projects where it's always shootouts. Even on this block, the back block, shootouts, a lot of fights, a lot of gangs. They wanted him to join gangs.
When his mother learned about a public school in the neighborhood geared specifically to boys of color, she urged Japaris to apply.
That was the best choice between me and my son we could have ever made.
Out of thousands that applied, Japaris was one of the lucky 100 to be accepted in his grade. But it didn't stop local gangs trying to recruit him.
But the trouble in the streets didn't stop. He was always in a fight every day. Even outside the school, they would go to the school.
He says the biggest turning point in his life came when a teacher here went the extra mile to help him.
And I said, wow, what is going on with this student to where, at one end, he wants to do well and he wants to learn, but then on the other end, he has such a short fuse.
Ms. Macklin was his 9th grade teacher.
One day in my class, he said to me, he feels like he wants to commit suicide. And, sorry. And I talked to him about why he wanted to commit suicide, and he just said that he was going to die anyways. He was going to get killed on the street.
So that equals the 136.
From that day on, Ms. Macklin has been Japaris' advocate, providing counseling and support.
That was the first time a teacher ever went above and beyond to help me. Ms. Macklin, I have thanked you in the past, but I don't think I remember telling you this. You've changed my life.
And that, according to David Banks, the president and CEO of the school's foundation, is the point of the Eagle Academy.
We help young men to understand what it takes to get the light to go on, for them to believe in themselves.
We are the ones we've been waiting for.
They do that by providing the structure and discipline many of these boys never had. Students must wear uniforms. Each boy gets paired with a mentor from the community. School days are longer to avoid idle time on the streets. And the kicker?
There are no girls here, right?
That's right, no girls. And it makes a huge difference.
I'm sure it does.
Right?
I mean, because that's a huge distraction when you're a teenager, I think.
I think be able to come to a place where they don't have to worry about competing for girls or getting dressed up for girls, and they can just be very focused on their schoolwork. We have a lot of young men who many schools would shy away from. We admit all of these young men, and we say that we'll put them all in there together and we'll get everybody to the finish line.
Eagle has brought an astounding number of students across the finish line. The average number of black and Latino boys to graduate high school in New York City is about 50%. It's 78% at Eagle Academy, with 100% getting accepted into college.
People don't see the greatness that lies within boys of color. They're boys, they're kids, just like any other kid in America. And with the right direction, they can soar.
I remember watching Convocation from the sidelines as a freshman, sophomore, and junior. Now I am here. I made it.
That school will be forever in my memory, my heart, and grateful to them as well because they didn't give up on him.
Instead, they gave him and his family an alternative to life on the streets. Japaris will be the first in his family to attend college. Today, Eagle Academy has about 2,000 students in their classrooms. They hope to have 4,000 by 2021. The goal after that, to replicate this progress across the nation. Gail?
I know. That's such a great story, Vlad. David Banks and his team do amazing work there. You know, somebody told me once long ago, if kids don't think you care, they don't care what you think. And you can tell at Eagle they care.
And you're reminded of the thing that no man ever stands so tall as when he stoops to help a child.
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing that I so love, the people who go out and find these stories about people that make a difference in other people's lives.
You too. Go Jabaris.
Yeah, hopefully they can
Cheering for all of
replicate
them.
like Vlad said.
Vlad, thanks again. Love, love, love that story.